becomes very clear that you fucking hate your job when you start to fantasize about getting into a car accident, just a little one, before going to work so that you don't have to go. Nothing serious, just a little fundy bendy, you know what I mean?
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Tell me something a job has taught you that you will never ever forget, no matter what.
I'll tell you something. If your supervisor feels threatened by your position, be careful. Why do I say that? I worked at Blue Cross Blue Shield for 3 years. My first legit job after I got out of college. I was the only person in that building that know how to do what I did. I started off as a claim examiner, but I excelled really quickly. So basically, they bumped me up to another position for me to learn exactly how to finish processing claims and determine whether or not that claim should have been approved. And if I needed to reach out to doctors, nurses, etc. for background information, then I could do that. Regular claims processors, they just go through the claim, finalize it, and then they send it off for it to be approved. I had a supervisor that was virtual in Dallas who was a black lady. I got a new supervisor who was, she was. Long story short, she ended up asking me to teach her how to do my position, and then she fired me. And not to mention, I had already been there for 2.5 years before she was supposed to be my supervisor. This was the same lady who was in my training class that got me hired at this job. Kid you not, January of 2020, because I started working there in like 2017, 2018. January of 2020, literally fired me the weekend before my dad's birthday, and told me that it was because I had too many unexcused days. Now, if you work in corporate or in big offices, you know how that works, where you have a certain amount of PTO and then you have a certain amount of unscheduled PTO where you can have days that's missed and stuff like that. They told me that that's the reason why they fired me. Mind you, I was in the process of going through FMLA to get approved because a lot of the days that I missed was to be home so that I could take care of my family because my dad was sick. And then they told me that if my FMLA does end up getting approved after they fired me, I could come back.
I really hate dealing with these men clients who are trying to be condescending to me simply because I'm a woman and they act like I don't know what I'm talking about. Prime example. I just had a phone call from some random guy. Didn't say his name, didn't say his company, didn't say anything. He simply was like, he's looking for this thing, this whatever. And granted, I've only been with my company for a year now, but I'm quite aware of the things that we sell. So I was like, I'm not familiar with that. Can you tell me exactly what it is? And he was like, oh, it's apart from this company, this other company. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, we are not contracted with that company anymore. We haven't been for, I think, 4 or 5 years. So if you would like that part, you would have to contact that company directly. And he was like, I don't understand. I bought it from you guys before. And I was like, that's possible. But again, we're not contracted with them anymore. So we don't sell their parts anymore. You'd have to contact them directly. The only parts we do sell are, A, B, C, D, and E. And he was like, well, I'm only looking for this small part on this blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. You would have to contact that company and they will be able to help you. I can't help you because we don't sell those parts anymore. He was like, okay, well, what do you guys sell? As if I didn't explain to him what we do sell. I took a breath and I repeated it. And I just went ahead and repeated everything that we sell. And he's like, okay, well, if you're not going to sell it to me, then what am I supposed to do? So I explained to him again. I guess that's the third time. I'm like, sir, again, we are not contracted with that company. You can contact them and they can sell it to you. We don't have it anymore. We cannot get it because we are not contracted with that company. And then he mentioned again how, he bought it from us before. I'm like, sir, I'm sorry. I don't know how else to explain it to you. We don't work with that company anymore. He was like, how are you not the same company? Child, I was about to throw my freaking laptop. So for the 4th time, I had to explain to him how we are not contracted with them anymore. And then he took a deep breath and he was like, all right, sweetheart. And he hung up. Don't fucking sweetheart me. I don't like that. If I was a man on the phone, you wouldn't have given me a hard time. You would have listened to what I said the first time I said it. And you damn sure wouldn't have called me sweetheart. Because to me, that insinuates that you act like I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't like it.
I mean, I really can't see because it's blurry, but what I can see is bullshit. I promise.
Listen, this is my little tidbit of advice for young folk. Take any job in the trades and do it. for a little while. Just take any job you can get, because there is not one single job that you're going to be worse off for having. Having any kind of skill set at all is going to help you later. So, you know, I'm a drywaller, but I've done many other jobs, but I've always had drywall I can go back to make money when or if things don't work out wherever else. So, take the job.
It's funny that a lot of popular hobbies are just things that were either jobs or survival skills in the past, right? A lot of people like cooking, running, gardening, which is kind of just like farming, and even like video gaming. A lot of video games, like Overcooked is literally a game about cooking, right? Or even Red Dead Redemption, that's a game where you like ride a horse and you like have to like take care of a horse. You have to do like a lot of like random lifestyle survival stuff. And I think a lot of the reason this is because a lot of white collar jobs are trash. Like, it shocks me that like a guy in finance would make more than someone who works in construction. Because if you ask somebody who has a blue collar job what they do, they're like, I built this door, a real thing that you can touch and see. You ask somebody in finance, albeit like me, I work on Excel spreadsheets. I change stuff from Calibri to Arial, which is an ugly ass font. And that's like a big part of my job. And it's just like a lot of people kind of escape like this weird like useless corporate job by like doing real things like cooking or running or things that are just like real. I don't know how to explain it. And I don't know. I guess what I'm saying is, as a person that works a white collar job, like if you use Microsoft Excel more than 4 times a week, your job is probably useless. The company you work for is probably useless. I'm sorry, like we don't need HR training compliance software. It's useless. No offense. But like, I don't know, if you work a blue collar job, I feel like we need to start respecting that, because that's like a real thing. Like, this door is real. That's a real thing. No banker has ever created a real thing. Again, no offense, it's just not.
These workout home companies better count their days. You mean to tell me I put in 300 applications within the past couple months, changed up my resume, did about 300 long behind assessments on top of that, and nobody still ain't hit me back? Oh, Kadoing is hiring fast. No, they're not. I done put in 30 applications and have not heard nothing back yet. Try Teleperformance. Same thing with Teleperformance. Oh, you got to make your resume stand out. Well, dang, how much of changing my resume do y'all want me to do? Do you want me to put like a big old sign at the top of my resume that says, choose me, pick me? Like what? No. Then they steady posting job posting, making it seem like they need all these workers in the world. But you can put in 5 applications right now and not hear nothing back ever. Like, I understand the holidays that just passed. Everybody was on a holiday break. But, hey, it's time to snap back into reality and get back to business. Y'all need to start opening up these applications and start accepting them. I got shit to do, places to see, people to see. I'm trying to travel and shit, and y'all playing. But anyways, y'all, I'm going to talk to y'all later. I got some more jobs to apply to.
Yo, I hate people who call other people lazy for not wanting to go to work. Like, if not wanting to work 50 hours a week is what makes me lazy, then I'm the laziest bitch in the world. And I'm gonna complain about working forever. I'm not one of those people that celebrates waking up at the crack of dawn to go to work for a franchise that does not give a fuck about you in the name of getting the bag. Fuck getting up and getting the bag. I wanna lay down and die.
Having a job is a scam. Just think about how much time we spend at these jobs. How much time of our lives that we spend at these jobs, man. 8 hours a day? We only get 24 hours in a day. 8 hours a day? And that's minimum, 8 hours a day. Some people do 10, 12, 5, 6, sometimes 7 days a week. That's a scam. That's damn near 50% of your day right there. You still gotta sleep 6, 7, 8 hours. Still gotta eat, shower, and do all those little miscellaneous tasks that we have to do every day. That leave us with like an hour or 2 of personal time to do what we want. No, I just don't sit right with me. Especially when we all know how life ends and we don't know when. It's a magical place right now. And we literally spend it in some type of man-made cubicle, in a warehouse, in a car, in the house, on your computer. That's what we came here for? I just don't sit right with me, man. And that's why.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And let's continue the video. Now, before y'all get in the comments, I already know, most people already know about this. They already know about how this go down. So y'all know I'm a closer and shit like that and whatnot. I say this every video, you know, I gotta let that be known because for the new folks that come in, they don't know. So, you know, dealing with closing, especially with a food place, you gotta worry about like QA people that come through checking stuff, whatnot. They check to see if it's clean, if it's up to city code standards, whatnot, all that stuff like that, right? The area was clean as fuck, smooth as hell. Like the whole area was clean and whatnot. The one thing that they got me for and wrote me up for, talking about the drains not being flipped. Like, bruh, some drains not being flipped. That took 1 minute to do. But most of the time, like, say like they behind or something, they need your help, like they need a worker's help. They'd be like, oh, could y'all help me out with this? It's gonna push me way back. Like, they wrote me up for some drains, for some stuff that will be like, that will take 1 minute to flip. Like, that drink will take literally 1 minute to flip. Like, I could go through, as they telling me about this, flip it real quick. Like, it's just something that was forgotten, like a common mistake. Like, these jobs, like, they just be playing. They be like, they just about the buck. They just about the business. They just about themselves, like, for real, at the end of the day. And the thing that sucks about it, like, I know most of y'all will be like, hey, why you just don't quit? I wish it was that easy. Like, if I was back in my days when I only had to pay a car insurance bill and a little funky ass little $50 phone bill, I would have been, I'm out of here, bro. When you got rent, you got bills, you got shit. I'm trying to get a new whip. You can't just up and leave, bro. You got to make sure you have a job that at least pay either the same or more. You don't want to go down. So it's just what you got to deal with.
He is exactly right. I think that a lot of us would actually leave our jobs if we could, but a lot of us don't have that option to leave and to just say, you know what, screw this job, screw everybody, I quit, you know? A lot of us do not have the option. A lot of us have a lot of bills and rent and just stuff to always pay for every week and or every month. So we are stuck at a job that we hate, but we need income to actually be able to live and to enjoy life a little bit and spend on ourselves and our family members. So yeah.
Hey guys, come spend the day with me as a man who works every day for a living. Why am I so broke? Oh, why am I so broke?
I don't know who needs to hear this, but there were a couple of things that I did this year to protect my mental health, mental clarity, presence of mind, so I could be the best I can be for my children, first and foremost, and then a good employee. And I don't know who needs to hear this, but hopefully these tips can help at least one other person. So when the year started, we heard of massive layoffs, especially in big tech, places like Google, Facebook, Microsoft, etc. And the folks who had said, oh, just get a job in big tech, no, it's not going anywhere, those folks, you know, they just got silenced because a lot of them lost their jobs. And a lot of these cushy PMs who would make TikToks about, oh, a day in the life of a project manager, and all they would do is nap and run errands, and, you know, if they were in the office, show videos of the snack bar. A lot of those folks just bounced, right? I saw a sharp decline in those videos. But also, too, I saw a sharp increase of fear-mongering. This fear-mongering was propagated by the media because every time I turn on my internet browser, I would see an article on MSN or, you know, CNN, NBC, whatever, about remote workers and quiet quitting, and bosses are fed up with people not doing their share of work, all this crap, right? In fact, this whole year has been a constant assault on remote workers and people who may not be remote, but they're just, you know, doing what they have to do. And what I learned was this: just like being in an abusive relationship, you can't love and forgive somebody into treating you right. You can't overextend yourself to the point in which employers will be loyal to you, that employers will not cut you down, that employers will treat you right and with dignity. I saw a lot of my friends who Some of them retained their jobs, some of them did not, but they became extremely paranoid. And anytime the Slack would ding or the Teams would go off or they got an email, they're on their phones, they're answering, they're responding. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I'll work the extra week unpaid. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. I will come into the office on a weekend. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. All this other stuff, right? I did the opposite. Now, keep in mind, this may not work for everybody, and, take this advice with a grain of salt. Only you know your situation, but your gut knows your situation better, okay? But the biggest thing that I did was I took off corporate email off of my phone. Oh, my God, how could you? That's right. Corporate email stays on the work computer that's given to me. As for Slack or Teams, I keep that on the phone because that's instant messaging. But you know what I do? I turn off the notifications. That's right. No notifications. I check it if I'm out and about on occasion, right? But other than that, no. Again, take that advice with a grain of salt. But here's the thing. You can't prove yourself into getting treated right by an employer. You are an expense. I need you to understand it. If you're not running your own business, you're not running your own consultancy, if you are not out there hustling, grabbing your own clients, and you're working for somebody else, ultimately you are a cost. You're an expense. You're a line item. You are a name on a spreadsheet. You are brought up in topics of conversation between CEOs and HR saying, how can we place so-and-so's job or department with AI? How can we offshore those jobs? And don't get me started on the level of service or the decline of service that happens when you go offshore. But anyway, but seriously, please, if you can do that, I highly advise that. Keep your emails on the work computer, of course, but don't be hopping to your phone every time notifications go off, right? Now, again, if you're in a job that requires, immediate response, like say you're working at a data center or something, or you're on call or whatever, that's fine. Do what you have to do. But I can assure you that 95% of the time you do not need to instantly reply to something. Put your mental health first, okay? Another tip that I did, focus work. I would block out hours on my calendar. I had a job last year that would just fill me up with calendar invites and meetings about meetings for meetings to go to meetings. And it was so unproductive. And I found these big consultancy firms will just do meeting after meeting after meeting after working session after working session after meeting after meeting after meeting, and then still expect a certain level of task accomplishment. So what would wind up happening is that a lot of folks would work after hours, weekends, late into the night, early morning, and it would just never change. And I said, no, forget that. First off, I plan out my week on Sunday, and I put in blocks for focus work, 3-4 hour blocks. Oh, but let me throw a meeting. Okay, you could throw a meeting on my calendar, but it's still up to me to decide to get on or not. Now, if it's something to do with, a project or whatever that I'm working on, yes, I'll make sure I'll attend it. But if it's not, what do you need from me? I'm watching the chat. And don't get me started on daily scrum calls and stand-ups, which are really just job justification meetings, okay? What are you working on? What do you have to do? What do you block with? Come on, that's silly. What are we, in kindergarten? A lot of times they'll be like, my notes are on the cards. Or I'm meeting with a vendor, which I would be meeting with a vendor. Hey, I'm meeting with a vendor, or, I'm meeting with so-and-so. Oh, but the stand-up. What? Oh, so we can all just sit around and raise our hand and say, oh, hi, Mr. Boss, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm... Come on. Just to repeat the same statement the following day. Come on. Listen, when you're at work, do your best work, right? Be good at it. Be great at it. But when 5 o'clock rolls around, sign off, right? Be stingy with your time. Set boundaries. Oh, but they wouldn't like that. So what? They don't like you anyway. And when I say they, I mean the upper brass management. You may have a great boss. You may have a great middle manager. But trust me, the people above him or her want y'all gone. Why? Shareholder value. That's what they're thinking about. So please start putting yourself first. Oh, but the market is so bad. What if they do? They're going to do that anyway. Okay? For real, for real. Oh, one final tip that I learned, stay off of LinkedIn. I mean, yeah, put your resume out there, apply to jobs, whatever. But please, it is just one cluster of people who are just knob slobbing. Like, please, just don't waste your time on there. All right? Put your profile out there, put a resume up there, apply to some jobs, but don't take it seriously. Come on. I'm going to be so real with you. Don't take it seriously. Listen, put your mental health first, all right? Block out your days, your hours, put your focus time in, turn off the notifications. They don't care if you're replying right away. And don't let the media and the economy and all that use fear to whip you into shape, okay? We do not subscribe to modern day slavery. We just don't.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.